All right. Kick it off with a little recognition here. Okay, we got Success Club. See if I can share this. Okay, so Success Club, we have we got the whole Success Club sit. You can see, so for the new coaches, anybody that has, see if I can just mute everybody here. So every time someone orders a challenge pack from you, whether it's a new customer or a new coach, you get 2 Success Club points. So you can see here all these coaches that have 6 points. They've helped 3 people so far this month. Then we have a bunch of people at 8 who have helped 4 people so far this month. And then for Success Club 10, we got Megan Jones, Maggie Schuick, Jonah Pedro, Heather Green, Chris Bachlet, Ann Demick, Amy Ecker, Kate Teft, Christina Tropiano, Casey McFadden, Brooke Reed, Nina Vitalano, Carrie Stillman-Schmidt, Rachel Batchelder, Kelly Marks, Cassie Jackson, and Lindsay Elena at Success Club 18. So Lindsay's helped 9 people so far this month. And then we got at Success Club 22, Sydney Thompson, Shane Copens at 26, helping 13 people, Alexis Herrera at 26, Bailey Glanzer at 28, Megan Wortham at 30, Ashley Felddyson at 30, and Kate Schultz at Success Club 54. And then the coach of the week, Maggie Schuick. All right. So that is Success Club. So that comes from your personal effort from the people you're helping. You also can get 1 Success Club point. You can see here you can get an odd number of Success Club points because you get 1 point for, I think they have the retention customers for people that have ordered a challenge pack in the past, but they continue to stay on as a customer. They still have those retention points coming in. Okay, so in addition to your personal effort, the people that you personally help, we also have a board for the team volume that coaches have created based on the teams they're building. So this gets posted. I wish this could be a little bit bigger, but this gets posted every Thursday, which is payday. So the way this board works is it's kind of the balanced team volume from your left and your right leg. So we have different clubs based on like how much team volume you're creating. This picture is kind of small, so you won't be able to see it, but every Thursday you'll be able to see like what coaches are creating the most team volume from the teams they're building. So I'll just read off kind of the coaches here that had over 1,000 team volume points in both their left and right leg. We had Carrie Stillman-Schmidt, Nicoletta Sidowitz, Chelsea Len, Cassie Savaggi, Miranda Owen, Amanda Johnson, Kelly Marks, Teresa Neitlinger, Jackie Howe, Kelsey Connor, Christina Tropiano, Sue Sardelli, Anastasia Redding, Jennifer Reeve, Sydney Thompson, Second Business Center, Celine Bacardi with over 2,000 team volume points. Last week we got Jonah Pedro, Michelle Katz, Ben Benman, Bailey Glanzer, Maggie Schuick, Corey O'Laughlin, Samantha Benko, and Casey Bachlet. Over 3,000 team volume points that were created by these coaches' teams. Megan Jones had over 3,000 team volume from all the coaches' effort on her team. Kim Roberts did as well. Amy Eckert, Second Business Center. Sean Wortham, Michelle Cahill, Susie Bell, Chris Bachlet, Caitlin Taft, Robert Rodriguez. The coaches that had over 4,000 team volume points from all the efforts of the coaches on their team. We got Ashley Felddyson, Second Business Center, and my Third Business Center with over 5,000 team volume points. Brooke Reed, Maddie Fenton, and Caroline Nathan. And then Carrie Steelman-Schmidt and Lauren Bauman, they both had over 6,000 team volume points. over 7,000 team volume points from the team. We got Marie Sardelli, Terry Bachlet, Anne-Marie Kellen, and Megan Wortham. Over 8,000 team volume points. Lake Thompson, Danielle Ream, and Gage Ecker. And over 10,000 team volume points that were generated from the efforts of the coaches on their team, which is what creates your team bonus. These were all the coaches that had teams that size. Curtis Schultz, Shauna Valenta, Cassie Jackson, Amy Ecker, Sydney Thompson, Michelle Phillips, Andrea Wallace, Kate Schultz, Ashley Felddyson, Beth Reelman, and myself. All right, so that was Success Club, which was based on your effort, and then that last one was Team Volume, which is based on helping start to build a team of coaches, and that's based on how many people your team is helping. All right, so that is recognition. One little announcement here. So you guys can check out the FAQs, but obviously the Super Weekend event for this second quarter of the year is going to be a virtual event for the new coaches. Once a quarter, we do what they call Super Weekend, and they have events all over the country and Canada and the UK, where local coaches get together and corporate puts together a video that kind of describes some of the new incentives coming out, the new workout programs coming out. You get to meet some of the local coaches, hear from some of the local coaches that give trainings and share their testimonials. It's just a really awesome weekend every quarter. And unfortunately, we can't do it in person, obviously, right now. So it's going to be a virtual Super Weekend, which is going to be really fun. The first time they've done that. So first time ever, we're doing a live stream event for all our coaches around the globe, all going to be streaming in at the same time on Saturday, this Saturday, April 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 11 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Was at noon Mountain time, 1 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m. in the UK. So that's going to be a really cool thing that everyone gets to listen in to the CEO. So here's what it says. So CEO Carl Deichler, he's the founder and the CEO, the president. Michael Neiman's going to be on as well, and a few special guests giving quarterly network updates. I heard that there might be an announcement about a new workout program coming out, which would be cool. And then also Kim Carver, who's one of the corporate training guys, he's going to go in depth on the BOD groups, which is a new application coming out to help with helping our challengers with the challenge groups. So it's going to be a lot of great announcements and then some cool training. And I'm sure they're going to have some really great special guest coaches come on and share some of their top tips and all that great stuff. So that'll be this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. And it says the event, the Zoom link. I don't know if they've come out with that yet, but they will. And it says that the first 10,000 people will be able to join. So hopefully you'll be one of the first 10,000 to click the link at 2. All right. Okay. So today we got Kayla. Is Kayla on here? I see her. There she is. I got to meet Kayla. I think it was May of last year. We went to She came to Austin with Celine to watch Delaney play in the AVP volleyball tournament, and I think she was kind of like a fairly new coach back then. But she just every month continues to like show up and up her game and really up her leadership as well with her team, not just her personally sponsored coaches, but all the coaches in her downline. She's always reaching out and connecting with them, and it's very inspiring to watch. So Danielle thought it'd be a great idea to have her on here, and I was like totally on board for that. So I reached out to her, and she was more than happy to hop on and share with us. So Kayla, I'm going to let you hop on and maybe share a little bit about kind of when you started as a coach, maybe what you were doing before you became a coach, how you first kind of heard about Beachbody, and then we can kind of jump into the training portion.
Yeah, sure. So can everybody hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I started coaching back in January of 2019. Selena's my upline, for those of y'all that don't know. We started, I don't even know how we followed each other through, whether it was like location or whatever. But she ended up following me, and I watched her for about 3 or 4 months. And she had connected with me and done all the things. And I was just like, oh, like, she's nice, whatever. I kind of wasn't, I saw that she worked out, but I didn't work out. Like, that wasn't for me. I like French fries. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. But anyways, so I don't know, after I watched her for a couple months, I'm like, she's so positive. And that was something that I honestly needed in my life then. I'm a full-time student. I actually graduate in December, or I'm supposed to anyways. I don't know, whole coronavirus, but whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm a full-time student. Right now I'm also buying a house and I'm planning a wedding and kind of just all the things. But at the time I needed that positivity in my life. And she had came on her stories and talked about how she used to be so negative and how this had like literally changed her life. And I'm like, you know what? I need that. Where's the poll button? So I ended up voting on her poll. We talked back and forth for a little bit. She sent me the price. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm in. And then I kind of ghosted her for a couple of days. She followed up with me and was like, hey, like, did you ever sign up? I was like, no. And then eventually I just bit the bullet. I knew that I didn't really like care to work out, honestly. I've never been the one to work out because I've always been what people call skinny. I know a lot of you here go eat the cheeseburger type saying. So I never really thought I needed to work out, but I knew that if it would help my mental health, I would be down for it. So yeah, fast forward kind of to now. It took me 6 months to hit Success Club. I didn't come in and I wasn't one of those coaches that like hit the ground running. It took me a little while to find my voice, and now that I've found it, I don't know, it's a completely different story. But I am excited to share that with y'all today.
How long were you like a customer before you started talking to Celine, and like how did that conversation start about possibly becoming a coach?
So I think it was only like a month, because as she always puts like, well, I guess her team kind of does that too because that's what she's taught us. She always like puts a reminder in her phone to like remind us when our Shakeology is going to go through, or our performance line or whatever we had ordered. So she had messaged me and she was like, hey, like there's an option to be a discount coach. She's like, you don't have to do what I do, but if you want to keep on using the products, like this is a good way. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I have nothing to lose. And then I don't know, I was just like, oh, I can actually make money. Okay. Because, broke college student. So anyway, if I was going to do the discount and like buy the products anyways, like why not try to make money off of it if I was going to do it anyways.
Yeah. How did you hear that there was an opportunity to earn like an income too?
From her stories, I'm pretty sure. She's always talking about coaching on her stories, which is something I've had to become more comfortable with. But I mean, for people, I have to think of like me. I would have never known if she hadn't have shared it on her stories.
That's awesome. How far out do you like set the alarm in your phone to like message your customers to remind them about that Shakeology discount?
Anywhere from 5 to 7 days. So I try not to bother people on the weekends, just because that's usually people's family time. So if it's like Friday or that Monday, kind of anywhere 5 to 7 days before their order goes through.
Gotcha. Cool. So like what those like first like 6 months when you might have saw like other coaches hitting Success Club and you like weren't hitting Success Club yet, like what was the kind of the like going through your mind as far as like your mindset about the business and like seeing other coaches hit Success Club, but you weren't like getting that traction yet? Like, what were you kind of like thinking that
Stop eating so much junk.
Sorry, I get distracted.
Sorry. All right. I think everyone's muted now.
Okay. So kind of like my mindset when I wasn't hitting Success Club was I never once in my mind what was it to quit. I just kind of want to throw that out there. Like I never had the mindset to quit. I always saw, because whenever I joined Celine's team, she put us in Danielle's team page, which is like her upline. And I always saw like people hitting Success Club, and she did like for a long time, she did like Emerald like coffee chats on Saturdays. And honestly, that was like the biggest motivation I had, because every Saturday morning I would wake up and there would be like a cute little boomerang of like all the Emerald and above coaches on like her stories. And you're right, I just saw that you said I can't be left out of anything. No, I can't. So that was like my main motivation, was to hit Emerald. So I knew that I needed to, if what I wasn't doing, like what I was doing wasn't working, I needed to find a way. So I actually got on a call with Danielle, which is what I was telling one of my coaches earlier today, actually. And she literally sat down with me, and we went through like, I don't know, 5 to 10 conversations of how I was wording things. I was being like super salesy, not in like the hey join me type salesy, but kind of in like the word vomit salesy, if that makes sense. And so honestly, it just came down to conversations. But my mindset in it all was that I knew success didn't happen overnight. And kind of what I've learned now is that this business works. Like, obviously we see it happen with our own, look at Ashley Feldison. But it only works if you work, like if you work the business. So that is something that I've always worked the business. Like I've always power hour, probably I don't even know if way more than you should is even a saying like in this business, but I've always been the one to like overachieve in the power hour. But quality definitely comes first. So, and also personal development. I don't really care, or let me rephrase that. I never cared to read before. But actually I look forward to reading my personal development in the morning, and I usually read about 10 minutes. And it's whenever I became consistent with my personal development is when I noticed that big shift within my business.
I know we kind of talked about, we were going to chat a little bit about like the mindset side of the business, and then like some of like the skills piece. Did you want to like jump into some of the like the sharing on social media stuff, or do you want to like kind of keep covering the mindset stuff?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm cool with anything.
Let's talk about I like how you talked about like how you started changing the way your conversations flowed. Like if we were to kind of look at like most coaches' conversations, and then we looked at like your conversations, like what do you think makes your conversations a little bit different than most coaches? Like what changes did you start to kind of make that you're trying to now help your coaches make with their conversations?
Yeah, sure. So I became their friend, which is a game changer. Let me just tell you. So now, like whenever I connect, like so usually I connect with my whole following. But whenever somebody follows me, I used to just send them a message like, hey, thanks for following me, and just kind of leave it at that. And never really like engage with them or go back and talk to them or kind of anything like that. And then 2 weeks later, here I am again, popping in your inbox. Hey, join my group. So the biggest thing I found is to engage. Like once a week, because I have like 4,000 followers, so it kind of gets to be a lot. But once a week, I'll go through and engage with everybody's story. Like everybody that follows me, I engage with their story, and I talk about their family, their dog, their cat, their whatever, and just become their friend and make a conversation off of that. Because I mean, they always, like, everybody in this business says, like, find your best friends because those are going to be your business builders. Well, sometimes your best friends don't join you, so you have to make new best friends. And that's, I know you say whenever people sign up with a challenge pack, like or you made 3 new best friends. Yeah, that's that's given to become their best friend.
Cool. I love it. Celine's telling me, she said you brought your notes. So she said she's basically telling me to kind of get out of the way and let you just like run this thing. So I'm gonna let you hit your notes, and then if you guys have questions for Kayla as we go, you guys can like throw them in the chat and she can kind of like read them, and then we'll try to save a little bit of time at the end for questions. But based on Celine's TikTok today, I'm just gonna back off because I know she's got some fire under her. So I'm gonna let you run with this thing, Kayla.
He does. If you haven't seen her TikTok, go watch it. I know she'll.
It went viral. It's like going viral on Facebook.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Now she's hiding under her like donut blanket.
Oh, I was reading the chat. Yes, I did. I took what you said, Brain Daniel. Okay, yeah, I kind of have notes about, I don't know, kind of everything that me and you had talked about earlier. I'll kind of just like touch the high points, and yeah, cool. Okay, so let's see. We kind of went over mindset, so I'll talk about social media and kind of like the power hour portion, and then handling objections. Does that sound good with everybody? Okay, cool. Okay, so sharing on social media is something that I've never like really cared to do. I was one of those like stalker people that like want to be nosy and look at everybody else's business, but I don't care to like post my own life, especially because I'm not very open. Like I don't like open up very easily. So to like when Celine's like, okay, you like have to post your life, I'm like, nope, like that's not gonna work for me. But you don't have to share your whole life is kind of what I found. Like share the good parts, share bits and pieces, but also share like if you struggle that day with motivation or your food or whatever. That kind of got off on a tangent. That really wasn't what I was going to talk about. But anyways, so when you share on social media, use your stories. If you're not using your stories, I don't even know what to tell you. That is where people come to basically look. Like whenever somebody follows me, I always go immediately to their stories. I want to see if they have any, what's on their stories, whatever it may be. And you have about 5 seconds to impress somebody whenever like they come to your profile. If it's like a whole bunch of pictures of your cat or memes, like that's gonna turn people away. Make sure that you're posting about like you and your brand, whatever your brand may be. A lot of people say like get 5 things that like make you you. So for example, I am a full-time student. Like I said earlier, I am planning a wedding. I'm not building. I'm buying a house. I was a plant mom, but I kind of killed my plants. So I guess I can't really say that anymore. I don't know. Just find 5 things that make you you and post about those 5 things. So one day you can post about your workouts, but then the next day, like post about your family or whoever. The next day post about something else and kind of keep it interesting, because people don't follow you for Beachbody. They're following you because you take them through your life. And let me go back to my notes because I get really distracted. And whenever you like post your posts, like no matter what it is, tell a story, because telling a story gets people engaged with what you're posting. Post about where you were to like where you are now, and attract like your tribe, because being a college student attracts like my tribe. And yeah, stuff like that. So that's kind of my top takeaways on social media. Oh, and another thing that I have in my notes is whenever you use stories, I always post a call to action after my workouts. So I don't wait an hour, 5 hours to post a call to action. Like, it's always right after my stories or right after my workout post, just because people forget like what they watch. So they may watch your workouts at 7 o'clock like that morning, and then so they may not watch your story until like, I don't know, 8 o'clock that night, and then they're like, oh, well, like what is she even talking about? I don't know, it just flows better when you do that. And I always post it right after, and I post it Monday through Friday, just kind of to give the weekends a break from me posting it, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna kind of go on to
like for some of the like new coaches that might not know like what a call to action is, like what's like an example of like a call to action you like to use?
Yeah, okay, so I actually use a couple different ways because I like to keep it interesting. So one day I will use my link. So I have a link tree in my bio that has, when you go to the link, it's like join my virtual boot camp, or I don't know, something along those lines. And so there's a form for them to fill out. So one day I'll be like, check out the link in my bio if you want to join, or if you want more info, or just kind of want to see what it's about. The second way I do it is graphics. I make my graphics in Canva to tell on my stories what like my boot camp is, what all you get when you join, everything like that. Another way is I come onto my stories and I talk about it. So I will talk about my virtual boot camp, what you get in it, all that. Another way is I will talk about it in my, I have so many different ways. I talk about it in my, like in the text box on my workouts, and then I'll post like a sweaty selfie after I finish posting my workouts, and I'll do like a poll there. And I'll just be like, if any of that sounds interesting to you, like you can vote in the poll. I think that's about it. Those are kind of a couple different ways I do it. And I do it a different way every time so it doesn't get boring. Am I doing a free group? Okay, so I will, yes and no. So I opened up a free group back in March, whenever the coronavirus got like kind of crazy and everybody was like not maybe like taking a break from their job. I did open up a free group, and I ran it for 2 weeks. And I got a huge response like out of it. Whether it was the people I had attracted or whether people just are at home and they don't have anything to do. I'm not sure. I didn't ask. But they actually asked me to like leave it open as like an open group kind of. So I put 4 workouts in the announcements of the free group, and I'm kind of just leaving it open for whoever like wants to join. But I did run it, and it was really successful, honestly. And I've never had a free group run that successfully, by the way. I don't know. I guess it's like the time. Okay, I think that was all the questions. Okay, so I'm going to go into like kind of the power hour portion. I'm not going to go like super in depth, but I kind of just wanted to tell y'all like how I find followers, connect with them, and then kind of like handling objections when I invite and like stuff like that. So how I find followers. So I kind of do this again different ways because I'm I don't like to do things just one way. I'm always looking to find new and efficient ways to do different things. So every single day I'll do a different thing, just like I would a call to action on my stories. So Mondays, usually I use hashtags, and I use the hashtags that aren't too big and aren't too small, kind of in between. So my fiance is like a basketball coach, so I could use like basketball coach wife or basketball, whatever, coach's wife. That's kind of a big one. But anyways, I use hashtags. So I'll follow people from like similar hashtags that I like. And okay, I see it. I have the chat open, so then I get distracted. How many story posts are too much? Do people get overwhelmed when there are too many stories for them to stay updated to? Honestly, I'm a firm believer in post what you want to post, and if people want to watch, they will come. So I mean, I don't think that there's such thing as like too many stories or like it being overwhelming. On average, I have about 400 people watching my stories, and I have a lot of stories. Like I post stories every day, and people still come back. And I mean, as coaches, we kind of post the same thing every day, and especially being at home. Now that we're all at home, I post the same things every day, and people still come back to it. So again, I don't think that there's such thing as too much because people will come back if they want to. What do I mean that the free group was successful? So I had a lot of engagement, and actually one or two people from the free group turned into challengers and bought a challenge pack. I didn't do the trial though. Whenever like the Beachbody free trial that's like 14 days, I didn't do that. I just posted the sample workouts. There's close to 14 sample workouts, and that's what I did. So they didn't sign up for anything. So whenever the group ended, I had just messaged them all individually and was like, hey, like this is the best bang for your buck. And this is a good way for you to get the workouts, get like all the supplements, so on and so forth. So I would say about 2 of them did, but I had really good engagement the whole time. And that's honestly what I went into the group for. I didn't go into the group like hoping to get challengers out of it, just because this is a rough time for a lot of people. And so I literally just wanted to serve and give them something to do like while they were at home doing nothing or doing whatever they were doing. So I hope that helped answer your question. If you have any more, you can drop them in the chat. So I use hashtags as one. Current followers, so I go to the likes and the comments on my stories, and I follow people from my current followers, the people that had liked my stories. I go to their followers and then follow people like from their followers. There's a suggested following. If you go to the I'm trying to think, if you go to like the lines on your profile, like up at the very top corner, and you go down to discover, I'm trying to do this off of memory, I'm pretty sure that's like the suggested following. So I follow people from there because usually it's like from my following or my followers, or probably somebody I went to school with, somebody I know. So that's day 3. Day 4 is I do follow a couple small bloggers that are nowhere related to fitness. I just really like to follow them, and I don't follow too many because I don't like to follow people that aren't following me back. So it can get kind of tricky with like bloggers, but I do follow 2 that I really like, and I use like their followers to follow people. And then the last day is location. And if you're in a big town, like location can be tricky, just because there's a lot of people, or if you're in a small town, it could be the same way because there's not enough people. But I do use location. Are you going to keep doing free groups? Honestly, probably not. Just because a lot of the times people don't like engage. Like I don't usually get as much engagement as I did that one time. I don't know how long like people are going to be in quarantine or like stay at home. I may do one more, just maybe in the same group. But no, I probably won't continue to do free groups. I just feel like they're not as effective just because, again, people don't participate usually. I think, okay, that's all the questions. Okay, and then the way I connect with people, so those 5 were the way that I follow people. The way I connect with people is I comment and engage like on their stories, on their posts. I spend 30 minutes engaging like with my feed. I'll spend 30 minutes like doing stories. The 3-2-1 method, which I've never really done until like recently. And the 3-2-1 method, for anybody who doesn't know, is 3 likes, 2 comments, and apparently a message or a follow. I never knew the one part, but somebody told me that last week. So apparently that's a follow. But anyways, I just kind of do the 3 likes. I don't force a comment. If I find like somebody has a cute shirt or their kid is cute, I'll comment like that, but I don't force a comment. So sometimes I don't do like the 2. But I just become their friend, like I was saying earlier. Become their friend, engage with them, talk to them before you invite them. And then, so kind of the invite and how I handle objections is when I invite, I keep it really short and sweet, like really short and sweet. I just offer them, I think I came prepared. I have like for what I say. I was just like, hey, I wanted to reach out and let you know that I'm putting together an online virtual boot camp for an exclusive program that just launched because 10 rounds just launched. If I share details with you, would you be open to hearing more about it? And that's literally all I say. And just send the invite. I know that a lot of people are so scared to invite. Just send it. There's literally, what's the worst that could happen? They unfollow you? Cool, unfollow them back. If you have to, send 5 and put your phone down and walk away and go like for a walk, go shower, go cook you a meal, go do something else. Just send your 5, set it down and walk away. And if they say no, don't dwell on that. I've had so many people say no or ghost me and then came back and bought a challenge pack. The girl that just signed up that made me hit Success Club 6, she said no 2 weeks ago. And then she messaged me the other day and was like, hey, actually, can you send me more information? And she signed up right then. So, and also about the whole ghosting thing, if you remember how many people ghost you, you are not sending enough invites. In the beginning, I sent so many invites. I mean, I don't listen to me because I wasn't hitting Success Club, but I sent so many invites that I couldn't even remember who ghosted me, who unfollowed me, who did anything. So if you are dwelling on that, you're not sending enough invites. And kind of how I handle objections is I don't push people. Like, I'm not the one to be like, okay, well, why won't you join me? Or if they say like something, I'm like, okay, well, why? I'm not a pusher. If they say that it's time, I just kind of explain my story and my situation about how, like, I'm busy too. Like I said, full college student, buying a house, all the things. I kind of just explained my situation and I'm like, you know what, it only takes 20 minutes, Transform 20 is 20 minutes, 20 minutes out of your day, you can spend 20 minutes focusing on yourself. If they say money, especially in this time, I'm offering sample workouts. So even though I may not have a free group running, I can still send them a couple sample workouts to give them that little push they may need to join. And if they say motivation, I always have, okay, well, I have an accountability group for that. I check on you as much as you want and as often as you want, whatever. Okay, I see all the chat blowing up. So let me see what's going on. And Danielle and Pat and Selena are all laughing. So let me go check that out.
We're talking about Celine's budget.
Oh, and she hasn't budgeted a day in her life.
I'm about to make a TikTok about TikTok.
Yo, that TikTok was hot.
Okay, well, yeah, that's kind of really all I had. Do you have any questions? Does anybody?
I like that idea about the 2 bloggers that you follow. So you like go to see who's following them, and then you follow some of those people, and then they're like, "Who's this person that followed me?" And then they go and follow you, and then you guys already have something in common. You guys like are following the same blogger, so I'm assuming you guys probably can chat about that to kind of start the conversation.
Right, and usually like our niche is the same. Like, so I've never been like super into hair and makeup, but like I mean I do it often, kind of when I do it, whatever. Anyways, and so like that's another way to like start a conversation with somebody is like, oh well, look, you like hair and makeup too, so.
And then the other thing you said you do is locations.
Yes, so you can tag your location in your post, in your stories, and then you can also like search it in the search bar. I didn't prepare for this, so I got to go to Instagram to see how you do that. The search bar, and you search it, and then up at the top it says places, and you can do like near current location, and it gives you like a whole bunch of options.
Cool. Yeah, I like doing that too, like searching different locations. Like there's a big park in Austin, Zilker Park, so I can like search that location and see like who's tagged that location. And I can look at their page and follow them and or comment on some of their posts or something and kind of start the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's see, Nikki had a question. Do you invite every day? And how, you know, is it like a set number she also asked, or is it kind of just?
So I have my book. This is how many conversations / kind of all my business stuff that I've had since June. I invite every weekday, so Monday through Friday. I send anywhere from 10 to 30 invites Monday through Friday, like a day. And it kind of just depends because I like go by day in my notebook. So I never go under 10 because I feel like 10 is a good number for me to get what I need to get across. And I don't know. I just feel like 10 is a good, reasonable number. And yeah, I do it Monday through Friday. What did I say Tuesday? Tuesday was current followers. So like the people that are currently following me. You said hashtags and current followers. That was it. I just used hashtags for hashtags, current followers, suggested following, bloggers, like small bloggers, and then location. I hope that answered your question. When you first follow someone you don't really know and they message you asking who you are and why you're following them, what is your response? I tell them, I did have somebody ask me that, but it's been a while. I'm usually like, oh, I like to support like other women, and I like to make new friends, and kind of, that's not exactly how I say it. Obviously, I'm not like, let's be friends. But I do like say something along those lines, like, oh, I like to follow like other women and become friends over social media because it's like such a good platform, and something along those lines. Let me know if that didn't make sense. Sorry. How long do you connect with somebody before you invite them? So in my trainings and whatever, just the usual rule is like 2 weeks. I ended up connecting with, I don't know, so many people that I usually do like 3 weeks to a month because I'm like kind of far behind in my little book, which if you know how I power hour, you know. If not, I like go by like names and dates in my book. So I just kind of go by that. So it has been like 3 weeks to a month, but usually I would say like the good average number is like 2 weeks. But make sure in those 2 weeks, like you are like talking to them, engaging with them. Like I would say in 2 weeks, you should engage with them like 6 times, like a lot. Especially if you're going to invite like in the 2 week period. That's all the questions I see.
You guys have any more? I was going to ask you about like if a coach is feeling like maybe one of your coaches is feeling nervous about asking their challengers to become a coach because they're like afraid they're not ready to like mentor someone to be a coach yet. Like what would you say to that coach?
Basically that's not your place to decide what that person feels. So if they haven't talked to the challenger before, like about coaching, like you don't know how they're going to feel about coaching until you ask them. So I would just ask. And I mean, what's the worst they could say is no? Okay, well then they'll just keep on being a challenger. But I mean, hey, if they say yes, then look, you got a new coach.
Did you ever have any fear with asking your challengers about the coaching opportunity?
No, never.
Jump right into it. That's cool. So what's your like first thing you try to get your new coaches like set up with? Like the first thing you want to try to help them start to do?
So the big thing that I try to get my coaches to do is like start posting, like make your coming out as a coach post, and like start posting your workouts and your life that you already live. Start posting that like on your stories, because that's a good way for like to get your current followers engaged. And then we can always add like prettiness and angles and filters and all the frilly fluff stuff of coaching. We can always talk about that later. But my main goal for my coaches is to just get them to start posting, because a lot of times I find that like that's kind of the hardest part, because there's obviously people are scared of being judged. So they kind of have to fight through that before they can even become, or like before they can even start like their power hour or start the next step, getting a challenger.
Just start like sharing what they're doing on their stories. And then do you help them with like how to word that initial invite? Like I love how simple you keep your invites.
I do. So I have a script in my team page, but I always tell them like, okay, this is a guideline. Like you're not going to talk how I talk. I don't talk how Celine talks. Like you're going to have to find your own voice, but this is a good outline for you to use to find it. And I tell them kind of the same thing that I do, just keep it simple, and don't be scared to like invite. What's the worst they can say is no.
Yeah. What are like, if there wasn't like a new promo workout coming out, like 10 rounds, like what would be like an invite? What would it kind of sound like? Something, I like how simple you keep them. So I'm kind of curious, like what a typical invite would sound like. I think
It's
a
been
lot
a
of coaches
while.
are a little afraid that they're going to word it wrong. And so they're just hesitant to even send anything. So I think sometimes if they get to hear an example and they like it, they can kind of use it and maybe tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So it's been a while since like we haven't had something on promo, because like it was Bar Blend and then it was Morning Meltdown, and so there's usually always something that is like discounted at the same price as like the basic challenge pack. I forget what it's even called because I haven't used it in so long.
Yeah.
But
The annual Beachbody on Demand. That's usually
yeah.
like 160, but like now it's the 10 rounds one's 160. So you might as well like grab that because you get the VIP early access and the loops.
And I always give them like whatever the newest thing. If it's on promo, I always sign them up with that, whether they want to do 21-day fix or they want to do something else completely different. I always give them that, because then that way they have it so that they can do, like if they decide to do it, I don't know, a couple months down the road, they don't have to go back and buy it. I always try to save my challengers money,
Right.
which I mean may not necessarily benefit me in the long run, but I always want them to know, like, I'm not trying to take your money. I'm trying to help. So I would say, like, if I had to get an invite from like just like the all access challenge pack, just be like, hey, I opened up a couple spots in my virtual boot camp this month. If you're interested, like, let me know. It's a community where we have workouts, fitness, or workouts, nutrition, and accountability, or something along those lines. Kind of give them like a brief like intro into what it is, and then like ask them if they want to join or if they want more information.
That's perfect. I actually had a new coach ask like for advice on how you help somebody pick the best workout program for them. Like if someone's still kind of on the fence about buying a challenge pack and they're not sure like what workout program or what trainer would be the best fit for them, is that like part of the kind of invite process you have? Like asking them a bunch of questions about their goals, their struggles to try to.
Yes, I asked them a bunch of questions. So that was actually kind of like what Danielle and I had talked about whenever we first, like back to that first, I need help with conversations. She was like, ask them their goals first, like get to know them. So that's definitely one of the questions I ask. I asked them if they work out like already. If they don't, I kind of just recommend like 21 Day Fix. 21 Day Fix is a good go-to program for anybody starting out. If they like to lift weights, okay, cool, like lift 4, or I kind of just go off of what they're used to. Cardio, there's so many different options. Transform 20. If they want to mix, Morning Meltdown. A lot of people actually took boxing like workouts, which is crazy to me. I would never think that, but now we have boxing to offer or bar to offer. Like people actually are interested in the fact that we have those because now they don't have classes to go to.
See, Nikki had a question. She said, what if you have a new coach who isn't finding or isn't able to sign anyone up and said they have already asked their family and friends, they've already talked to their warm market?
So I'm actually in that situation. So, I mean, I feel you. A lot of like, I'm just now starting to get, it got really dark. The sun went down. Sorry if I'm like super dark. But anyways, I am actually in the same situation. Like my, the coaches that I have are fairly new. And they kind of, I mean, back and forth, they kind of tell me the same thing. But I always tell them like, keep finding it. Like you need to build momentum, like keep working because you're going to build momentum and somebody's going to want to sign up with you and they're going to see it at the right place at the right time and they're going to message you. It doesn't happen, like I said, success doesn't happen overnight, so they just have to keep working with it. It took me 6 months to like finally get that momentum going, so it does take time. They just have to be patient, and personal development is a good recommendation for them.
That's a good one. Like if any of your coaches come to you and they're saying they're struggling with something, sometimes the first thing you could say is like, what personal development are you reading right now? And a lot of times they'll say none.
And sometimes their personal development isn't like with their season. Like I know I started Girls Stop Apologizing, but it just wasn't what I needed at the time. So I had to switch it up. And it's okay to do that too.
Yeah. Something that like speaks to you. Like I noticed that if I'm not sharing anything on social media from my personal development, it's like, like maybe this isn't the right book for me right now. And then I'll grab another book and then it just seems like everything I'm reading from it, I can't help but want to share it. So I just know that is probably the right book for me at that time. So I think sometimes we feel like we got to finish the whole thing before we move on to the next book. But all right, Amy said, when you have a boot camp startup date and it starts, do you accept people if the challenge already started or have them sign up for the next month? Sorry.
I accept people all month long. So which is something I'm trying to get better at. We actually had, we're running a push group to Diamond, side note, but we had a guest speaker come in there and she was like talking about having like a start date, like when it starts, which is something that I'm really bad at. Like I don't have necessarily like a start date for my challenge group. I just have an ongoing group that I just change the theme each month. But I accept people the whole month. And I think even when I have like a close date and then like a start date for a challenge group, I'll probably still add people because I feel like I wouldn't turn them away. And a lot of people can change their mind in like 0.5 seconds. So I'm all about inviting anybody in that wants to come in.
Awesome. Well, this was an amazing call, Kayla. Thanks so much for doing this kind of short notice. I reached out Danielle and I was like, hey, like, you got any ideas for someone that could hop on the call tonight? And she thought of you right away, and I was totally on board with it. So
Well,
thanks.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was awesome. This was awesome. All right, we're gonna do a big boom on 3 for Kayla to show her how much we appreciate her taking the time. Is this your first call on time doing the team boom call?
It is.
Nice, nice. Well, this won't be the last. You're going to be on here a bunch of times. So thanks for hopping on here. Again, tomorrow, I think my sister Andrea is doing a coach sneak peek for anybody that wants to share that Zoom link with any of their prospects. And then don't forget, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern is the virtual super weekend. And I'm sure you'll be seeing the Zoom link for that. But you guys can unmute yourself. And we'll do a big boom on 3 here for Kayla. And then we're going to go make some tic-tics.
Oh my God, I hate you so much.
All right, boom on 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Love it. Awesome, Kayla. See you guys.